Why gold mines are the place to get a mining job in 2024. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in the first video of the new year, I just wanted to point out to people where the actual jobs are, the easiest jobs are to get and the most jobs are to get in 2024. And the reason that gold mines are really in the fore is because the world is going back to using gold as money. So you can have a look at some of these articles, or you can come over and have a look at some of these videos that I've already done on, what's going on with gold and us in Australia, and how we're one of the biggest gold producer in the world that actually sells it all. Anybody that produces more, like China, they keep it all. We're the only country that actually sells it all. That's why we're the iron bank to the world virtually at the moment. And if you come over to our map, and this map is set up for all the gold mines in Australia. So these are all the active gold mines that are commercially running around the country, and I just want you to concentrate in on this area around here because that's got a lot of significance. And you've got to remember that this is a huge area of country. This is a very large amount, a very large area, and you can see all the gold mines that are shoved into that area there. Now, I've just done a PowerPoint presentation, and this presentation is on how a mine works, and I've just done it on a whiteboard. So this is our bit of Western Australia here. We're going to call it a gold mine here in Western Australia, one of the area where all those mines were. And the reason I'm going to explain to you this is why there's so many of those mines there, and there are so many more mines coming on stream in that area, is because when you find a mine, so everybody's looking for this, the reef that's running down here. If you watch any of the gold shows, they'll be talking about the mother lode or the reef or the source or whatever you want to call it, and that's what this is. This is getting pushed up from underneath, and it's shedding the gold on the surface, which is being flung off over hundreds of thousands of years, and it ends up flowing in rains and storms and all that sort of stuff into the lower area. And then what happens normally now is a prospector comes along, so like somebody off the Gold Rush shows or something like that, and they find some gold in the area around Kalgoorlie. When I was living there, a lot of the mine owners, as long as you told them that you're going onto their site and you organised it, they didn't care that you went on and prospected. They just wanted to know that where you found the gold, how much you found, and exactly where you found it, so they could find this, because this is what everybody's looking for. They're not really, you can make a little bit of money about this stuff on the surface, but what everybody's looking for is this, because that's the source of it, and that's where all the gold is. So once you find it, then they send somebody out to drill it, and they drill it just to make sure it's consistent and all the way through. And once they find out that it's consistent and all the way through, and they've drilled it, and they're happy to start an open cut mine, they start an open cut mine. And what they do is they take the first chunk out, and then as you take the mine down deeper, the open cut mine down deeper, the walls, you've got to take more off the sides. And please, this is just a rough mud map of what's going on. The walls aren't vertical up and down. They've got to be at more of an angle, but I'm just doing this so you can see what happens. And so they take the next slot out, and then they take the next slot out, and then they take the next slot out. And you can see by the time you get to this stage here, by the time you have to go down to the next slot here, if the ore body is only, say, 3 or 4 meters wide, then you really have to think about how far down, much further you're going to go down, because by this stage here, you're probably already down about 120 meters, 100 to 120 meters with all these cutbacks that you've got going down. And if the ore body's nice and wide, then you can go down even further. But if it's not nice and wide, then you should think about going underground. I've got this picture here supplied to me by Mike. Thanks, Mike, for sending that through to me, of one of the mine sites. And as you can see, this is a very deep pit with lots of cutbacks, but you'll see all this rock here that's fallen in, and that's because, and up here as well, they've had a fall in. That's what you risk when you go deeper on these pits. And if you're going to go as deep as this pit is here, which is probably 300 or 400 meters down by the looks of things, your ore body needs to be very rich and very wide. A lot of mines around in that Western Australia area that I showed you, they are only 150 metres down. They're not much further down than that. And the reason that they didn't go down much further than that is because when they were originally dug, 20 or 30 years ago, or even, 15 years ago or 10 years ago, it wasn't worth going down any further, because to go down further, you need to start an underground. And so you put a decline off here like that, you make a level on your first level and you bring it over here, and then you go up left and right on the ore body, and then you go in and stope, and you stope it all out. And, you learn all that in the training that we've got on offer, so it can teach you all that. But this is what I'm trying to say to you. The area in Western Australia that I was showing you before are full of these mines that are down to this level here, that have all been drilled down further, that weren't worth going down on, 20 years ago. But now, at the gold price being over $3,000 an ounce Australian and over $2,000 an ounce US, everybody's going crazy for. And that's why all these mines are opening up and being commissioned, and everybody's looking at going back in on all these old workings as well, and everybody's trying to ramp up their gold mines. I did a story in one of the bricks ones that I showed before. In this one here with the bricks gold, I actually talk about how the super pit is ramping up, and they're doubling their production. So they're going from producing 25 or 26 tons of gold a year to trying to produce over 50 tons of gold a year. And they're doing that at the moment. They're ramping that up to double it all. So that's why in 2024, if you want a mining job, then there's lots of mines, gold mines around the country. And it's not just here in WA. The same situations up here in the north of Queensland, and even to around Cobar and in the west of New South Wales. There's a lot of mines, a lot of satellite pits that people went down on, and they went down about 150 metres, and it wasn't profitable because gold was only $700 an ounce when they were doing it at the time, so it wasn't profitable to go underground. But now at $3,000 an ounce Australian, and like I said, over $2,000 an ounce US, it's really profitable to go into these mines and start these mines up. And that's why there's so many jobs around. So if you want to give yourself the best shot of getting into something like that, then I suggest having a look at one of the three-step plan that we've got. It's one of the three packages that we've got. It's the middle of the road package. You get your education through the online training, which all three packages do, but then you get Jess from Beyond to do your resume and help you out with that. You can also use our mining jobs to apply for page, where we load up all the jobs that we think you should be applying for from around the country. And then also on the Australian Mining for New Starters page, there is all the job hunt videos that we've got. So you can have a look at the job hunt videos. There's a playlist there of them. You can have a look at them. They go back a long time, and you'll see it's all the same employers looking for the same people over and over again. So if you want yourself to get a new job in 2024, then my suggestion is to have a look at the three-step plan and get yourself educated in the skills the employers want. And all the number one skill all the employers want is knowing how their mine works, and get your resume sorted out, and then use your knowledge and your resume to get yourself a job. There's lots around. It's just not where people are looking. If you're looking in iron ore and coal, all that's going driverless. You really got to know somebody to get a job in those areas these days. Whereas with gold mines around the country, they're just having to hire whoever shows up. So if you can show up knowing how their mine works, gives you a huge advantage over everybody else, and that's what gets you the job. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you could share this video around, and if you've got a question for Jess or I for our Conversations About Mining podcast series for the new year, please send them through, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you could share it around and like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.